So, today I'm gonna do a topic on betrayal. I was kind of delaying doing this topic just because of how emotional this topic is. For me, it's been like a kind of a recurring theme in my life. It's been one of the hardest experiences it took for me to get over. But one of the greatest helps or tools that I was able to use was just reading the story of the prophets, or even the stories of the caliphate, like the sahabas of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's just the people he was around. And for people that don't understand it, it was just like the people he was around. He was like with four people. His first main shahadas, his first main people he was around, and who he passed the torch to lead the communities in Islam. And if you read those stories, you'll start to understand the reoccurring thing. Even if you don't have it in your life, you'll start to see that these things are kind of almost embedded in the human psyche. And this is like a real thing that people experience. And I'm actually going to use people that are in the Quran and in the Bible. It would be Jesus. I'm going to use Cain and Abel, and I'm going to use Joseph. And the Joseph that I'm going to use is the Joseph on the lineage of Abraham. And if anybody knows the story of Joseph, you'll know why I'm using it when it comes to betrayal. So, I'll give a little background on myself. So, one of the first betrayals I started having was people that were I used to hang around. So I would get a lot of just tag along type of people, friends and stuff like that. And because of just my greenness and my youngness, and not even just saying youngness, because this is kind of like I said, reoccurring thing. I used to have people around me that actually didn't have any love for me at all. They didn't have they didn't care about my well-being. Now I won't say at all. It's just they didn't really love themselves. And that's normal for people that want to hurt people. So people that want to hurt other people, or people that are jealous of people, they don't actually have any real love for themselves. So they take it out on the people that they're around. And, you see that in relationships. You'll see that in abuse relationships, where men and women too, because it happens to both, that the person will come home and abuse the people in the household. Whether it's the woman abusing the husband or the kids, or vice versa. So that was one of the first experiences that I actually had. Later on, I started to see the same in relationships. So you'll get women that you'll be with that they don't really like you for real, and they're using you for whatever they're using you for. So they'll create a sham environment where they'll be like, oh, you're my boyfriend and you're my girlfriend, stuff like that. But whole time they'll be either cheating or extracting as much resources out of you for you to feel, and they won't do anything for you. And the way you will be able to determine if that's what they did is look at how they left the relationship. So if they pulled you all the way down while they went all the way up, that's a person that never really cared about you. This is a person, and this person more than likely doesn't care about themselves. The greatest thing about those examples is that you'll get a chance to see them on your way up. So, what people don't realize is God has a way of paying people back. It's a guarantee. So if you do things, the right way, and when I say the right way, I mean in a loving way. So you could be wrong and you could still take pain like I have. But the way you are able to establish your supremacy over the situation is by having always good intentions. Your intentions is what sets it. So even if you take the pain or the loss or whatever, the experience through the lesson, there's never a loss there because you did it with love and you had good intentions. So your good intentions will always be shown in the after effects of the situation. However you develop as a soul, you develop by learning from the situation, whatever, and then you'll get a chance to see that person again. And this is just a normal occurrence. This happens all the time, and people will be able to agree with it because they've seen it. And I'm going to show you stories on and of what it is, and you're going to see it in the Bible, you're going to see it in the Quran, and you're going to understand that this is why you do those things with good intentions and love, because of this. Yes, you will experience it. There is no way you're not going to experience it. I mean, I don't know a person that has never been betrayed before. That's almost like lightweight impossible. It is in the human psyche. But when you have good intentions and you're doing it with love, and then you really not in that type of environment, a lot of times the betrayal isn't as bad, but even with that, it can be. Wives kill their husbands kill their wives. So they could have a regular, job and regular life. They grew up regular, American type of family, all, this normal story. And then all of a sudden, this is what happens. This type of outcome. So this is like I said, it's embedded in the human psyche. You're going to experience this. And what I try to do is not only try to give some experiences from what I have went through, but just understanding these stories so that you can use these to your advantage. You can use these for your development. Because truthfully, the development of the next person's soul and their betterment affects everybody. And I know that some people can't really truly understand that. But if you don't truly understand it, take a look at the experiences that you have, and you're going to be able to say like, damn, I went through that same exact thing. And you'll start to see why the world is turning the way it is. You'll start to see a reoccurring theme, and you'll understand if you start to see the way the world, how it's starting to go down the snowball effect. When you start to see more people having the same experiences, you'll start to understand where it's about to go, because this is exactly what happened in their time, and then it happens all over again. So this is just, like I said, this is just how the world is. The sun rising in the east, setting in the west. It's a reoccurring theme. This is really recycled. So the first story I'm going to go with is Jesus. So Jesus was a person that was very good to the people. We're talking about a person that didn't commit almost no sin. All right, no matter how you look at it, Islam feels that he questioned God. So this is why you could prove that he wasn't actually God. Christians believe that he didn't create no sin and he was God. It doesn't matter how you look at just that, even though that's very important for it's a doctrine and it's a tenets for people. It's not important to the effect of what I'm talking about with the betrayal. Jesus was a very good person. Nobody's going to go against that. He was very good. And what happened with him was he still was betrayed, and he still was slandered, and he still was had acts upon him that were violent. And this is just a normal thing for the human psyche. This is how bad people are. You're going to see people that you could be so good. You could be the best to a person, man. And I know this from experience. You could be the best friend in the world. I'm talking about best boyfriend, best whatever, and best anything to a person, and they will still betray you. And you're like, yo, how would you do this to me? You, out of all people, I was there for you for all types of stuff. But they will still betray you. Why? Why is that? Exactly. Judas betrayed Jesus. I mean, he sold him out. He literally sold him out for gold. So like, forget all the times you fed me, forget all the times you were there for me and saved me. You still did that. So this is just part of the soul refinement. This is part of the experience for the person. This is and just a very shameful act, you know what I'm saying? And it was so shameful that Judas ended up killing himself. He ended up committing suicide. So he didn't even spend the money. So you forget the fact that he sold him out for the gold and all that. He didn't even spend it. So why did he even do it? So this is, I mean, this is part of the experience. And there's people that do this. People want the insurance money, so they killed their spouse. I mean, or they'll kill anybody else, their parents, their kids. It's just really a normal thing. It's complete insanity, truthfully. And it's a shame. It's a shame. It's very just, I mean, it's just a shame, yo. So, and this is what you see. You will see that the person, very close to you will sell you out for material gain. Now, he not only sold him out for material gain, but Jesus knew it. And I could tell you how I know, like, multiple times in my life, I knew a person did not really mess with me. And there was so many chances that I seen it. And I'm like, wow. And it was really hard for me to look at. It was like one of them things where I almost didn't want to believe it. And as I get older now, I start to set like little traps or whatever to see how a person, if they really like you, if they really deal with you like that, and they will always feel them, and you'll be able to determine if this person means well for you. And that should be something that people really should do. Truthfully, you should do that, because if you ever wanted to determine if a person really messes with you, you got to go through something. You have to go through something, experience. This is the same thing for husband and wife, because we're talking about legal situations where I'm putting you on a lease, I'm putting my name on stuff and stuff like that, and I wouldn't even trust you to drive my car. You know what I'm saying? So this is why you will want to do that. You will want to make sure that this person could be trusted. And, there's going to be times or situations that you can do that. And I would recommend the person to do that before you start doing those things, because this can very much be a life-changing experience for you, because it was for me. The next story is in the book of Genesis 2. Genesis also, excuse me. I don't want to say Genesis 2 because it is two books of Genesis. Or two chapters, excuse me. So you have Cain and Abel. Now, they're not prophets, but they are, and I'm using them as an example because this is not monetary gain of you being sold out for, or popularity for being sold out for, like Jesus and Judas Iscariot. This is pure jealousy. So you have, Cain in the first recorded example of murder. You have Cain murdering Abel. And to try to cover up murdering Abel, he tried to bury his body of his own brother. This is his brother. So he tries to bury his body, right? And God, the law is so just and stuck on judgment, he wouldn't even let him bury him. He wouldn't even let the body be buried in the dirt. He was spitting the body up so everybody could see how nasty this type of behavior is. So you have this example of Cain looking at this all the time. This is you. This is what you did. You murdered your brother over jealousy. Jealousy, as being one of the big deadly sins and 7 deadly sins or whatever, is like, this is an emotion that, you know, I know it's hard for me to fathom, because I don't understand how a person could be jealous of somebody. It's already hard enough to be yourself. So to look at another person and then be jealous of that person is, to me, it's overload. I mean, don't you have a lot of things to worry about? We see that a lot, especially with social media and people just being nosy and always being in somebody else's business, and just being, you know, on this, they're so, you know, oh, they so Superman or super gangster, whatever you want to call these type of people. They want to, you know, judge or do whatever. So this is the type of behavior you get from a jealous person. They always looking at something and they always want to find a way to either be superior to it or take it away from the person. So, I mean, this is what Cain did, and ultimately it cost Abel his life. And this is what we have in our DNA, is this level of jealousy. And you see it even in sibling rivalry and stuff like that. And you're like, what? I mean, and I can't see it. I just don't understand. Wouldn't you want that person to be great? Why would you want to see that person not great? So what you see is, I mean, the second level of jealous. First of all, the people who are not jealous, they always want to see people good. They was cool. They'll put you ahead of them so you can win, because they want to see you win. That's when you meet a really good person. That's the type of person I am. I'll literally, look, man, you go, because I know that's what you do. So you go, I want to see you win. And that's when you know you really got a good person, a good, kind-hearted person. But you do have some people that aren't, they a little jealous. So you have them people that will give you stuff, but you can't be better than them. So that's like the little jealous. That's like the second level of it. So, I mean, yeah, they'll help you out. Don't get it wrong. They'll help you out. I mean, they want to see you win, but as long as you don't win before them. And then you have the people that are completely jealous. They don't want to see nobody win. They don't want to bring everybody down. And we call them, like, y'all call them trolls and stuff like that on social media. They want to see chaos. They cool with seeing everybody crashing and burning. And this is the level of insanity that we see in our, communities, is that we see these type of people. They cool with, forget that, let them kill each other and stuff like that. This is just the type of behavior that these type of people exhibit. And it just is super detrimental. And that's where you know where their soul is at, where their soul level is at. They're at the bottom of the barrel of soul level. They don't care about themselves on any level. These are the crash dummies you really want to stay away from. And it doesn't mean that you're afraid of them. It just means that the type of energy that they have is so unbelievable. You just don't even want to be around this type of energy, for real. Then you have Joseph. And I'm gonna spend some time on Joseph, because Joseph reminds me of myself. It reminds me of the type of life and type of betrayal and suffering I've experienced. Because this is like, it's not Job's suffering. Job probably suffered the most in the Bible. I mean, he went through a lot. And there's been betrayal in many of the stories. But this is king savagery. You know what I mean? Joseph was born, I think he was one of 5 brothers, if I'm not mistaken, right? So it's 5 boys. He's the spoiled one. His mother is like the favorite of the wives or something like that. And I think he's the son of Abraham. I'm not exactly sure. I forget the story exactly as far as who's what, but I will never forget what he experienced. This is something this is epic of savagery. Like, this is epic of betrayal, right? So The brothers hated him so bad, they schemed. They schemed, and this is, like I said, this is part of people's lives. They don't have no life of their own, so they scheming, right? So they're scheming to try to do something to you. So they're scheming, and the first thing they do is they say, well, you know, he's the son, he's the father's favorite. We're going to get rid of him. So they take him out to like the desert or whatever, and they assault Joseph, and then they bury him alive. They manipulate him, they trick him to go into like this hole, whatever, they bury him alive. So he's, crying, he's scared. He was tricked to come out with the brothers. He already knew the brothers didn't like him. So this is how sad the story is, because he just want them to like him. And you get that in a lot of like kind-hearted people. They can see that people don't really deal with him, but he's a good person. He just wants to see that, he wants people to like him. So, and there's a lot of esoteric knowledge in this, and I'm not going to go too far deep in it, but this is why you really need to put your faith in God, because you don't need people to like you, believe me. So, but he goes out into the to the desert with the brothers. They bury him alive. Boom. The next day, the brothers come back. He's not dead yet. So they're like, well, you know what? I don't know if we're going to kill him and all that, but you know what we're going to do? We're going to sell him. So they sell his own brother to a slave person named Potiphar or something like that. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. But they sell him. They sell his brother to slavery. I mean, so this is what they do. And so the brother is heartbroken. He's at this point, like, he probably rather had died. So this is just disgusting human behavior. I mean, this is like, this type of behavior is so disgusting. Like, this is what you get from these type of people. So that's why you really need to just stay away from these type of people, for real. Whether you brothers or not, you should stay away from them, because at this moment right now, they need to find God themselves. And you'll see a lot of people that will act like they worship God, but they really don't. It don't matter what they call themselves. They don't believe in God on any level. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what they say they are. So that's what they did. They betrayed him on that level. Potiphar takes him to his house and enslaves him. He enslaves him. Boom, you're my slave now. So you're working around the house, you're doing all this stuff. Potiphar's wife liked Joseph so much, she thought that he looked good. So she was like, oh, I'm gonna have sex with him. Joseph being so like, my fault, I missed the part. Joseph was so good of a slave. This is how terrible this is. Joseph is so good of a slave, he works his way up to high slave now. Like, I don't know how you would call that, but this is really real. This is what really happened. So Joseph worked his way up to being like top slave, and everybody hated him. And it kind of is the same. This is why I say it's similar to my life, because I'm really good at everything that I do. So this type of confidence, this type of goodness becomes envious to everybody. People just hate your karma, your aura. They hate the way you carry yourself. I mean, this is insanity. They hate the way you walk. They hate the way you talk, and it's all jealousy. But this is just how human beings are. Like, this is the jealous ones. So boom, the ones that ain't jealous, they will love you, but this is just how it is. So he works his way up. Boom, he gets promoted, all this stuff. So boom. So the wife really loves his swag, like how he handles himself, how he carries himself. She wants to have sex with him. So she tries to do it. He doesn't break. He like, yo, Potiphar gave me this job. I ain't slaving no more. I work my way up. Your husband is you married. Like, I'm not having sex with you. You married. I'm not even gonna play with myself like that. I love God too much. I'm not even gonna go there. Like I said, he did love God too much. He just would not. That was like over his thing. Like when I said if you wanted people to like him and you really need to trust God, at that point he wasn't at that level yet. But he was at least at the level where he loved God enough to not do that. You see what I'm saying? Like, and that you respect that, because he like, I'm not even gonna mess with that. You like, I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? So she's so vicious, women stuff. She says, oh, you don't want me? Can't take rejection. she tells her husband that he tried to have sex with her. So, well, you know what he did. He's so disgusted at it. Now, mind you, Joseph still hasn't done anything to deserve this type of attention. Yeah, he was a little bit of a show off, a little bit, I mean, even in the household with his brothers and all that. But I mean, just to be buried alive, to be sold as a slave. I mean, come on now. Like, is that okay? That's cool, right? You cool with that? For that type of action? Like, come on, like, really? This is what we cool with then. And that's what you see a lot with human beings, is that they almost overpunish, they overreach. And when they overreach, more than likely is because they're jealous. They never liked you. So when they overreach with authority because they're like, fuck him anyway. I mean, and this is just what happens. Like, this is just human corny stuff. So boom, the boy Potiphar puts Joseph in prison. He puts Joseph in prison for like 5 years. So he puts him in prison in shackles on a wall, on like basically torture, because of a lie. and I've been to prison because of a lie before. So now, this is why I said this is the behavior of people. They get so mad at stuff that they it's just them being jealous, that they'll put you in prison, or they'll do other stuff like bury you alive and stuff like that. So this is, again, complete insanity. But Joseph never loses his hope, and he never loses his love for God. So what does God do? God gets Joseph out of that situation. So out of his high morality, his high character, he comes out of that situation. He's able to get. He knows dreams, so he's able to cure the land of like famine or something like that. And then they raise him up. He becomes like the Pharisees, like right-hand man. And Joseph could have took revenge not only on his brothers, but he could have took revenge on Potiphar and his wife, and he didn't. Now, this might not be me. So because that I'm not on the level of not taking revenge. You know what I'm saying? But I do know that ultimately this is just the level of a person that's so refined that they know revenge doesn't matter. And I only say these stories because you're going to be able to see, chosen ones can see this type of behavior. And you just got to be able to maneuver through these situations, man. You got to maneuver through it with the love of God and the trust in God that he's going to make sure that you're straight. And that's why I said that he didn't understand God on that level. It's not that you don't want people to like you or something like that. You just don't care. The only person you care who like you is the law, period. Is God. That's the only person that you should make, that you should care who likes you and who cares about you. Other than that, the rest of these people, they can go to hell for real. So, because like, truthfully, that's where their destination is probably going to be anyway. Or that's where their destination is right now, because they live a living hell because they're very corny. And this is just part of their punishment. And you see that a lot. You can see people living a living hell because of their behavior and their character and their circumstances. Not circumstances because of the material stuff, circumstances because of the way they handle situations. You could tell that they are not one with their self. They're not right with their self. So this is an easy determination on if you want to really be around these type of people. And Joseph, like I said, Joseph is a very, very important story for a person that has humility and never lost his faith in God, and not as faithful as somebody like Job, because Joseph was really heartbroken, and rightfully so. He should have been, just like anybody who has any type of heart. They're going to be hurt in these situations. Like, damn, like, you my brother. I mean, I know that we may go through some stuff, but this is a level of hatefulness that you wouldn't expect for somebody to have on a family, but he experienced it. So this is what you get. And this is what you get out of a lot of different experiences, where you see people that you would never think, well, that's what betrayal really is. These are people you never think that will do such a thing doing it. And that's what betrayal really is. And the closer or the more loved is the one that the devil will use to try to refine your soul. And in all actuality, the shaitan is good for you. And I know that this is going to sound crazy as I don't know what to some people, but the believers, the mu'minun, will understand this, and the believers will understand this. You know what I mean? Is that the Satan is there as he's an open foe, but he will be there to show you and to refine your strength in God. This is a guaranteed thing, because it's the most trying times is the one where God be there for you. If you don't know that, you ain't been through some real rough stuff. And that's another thing. You won't see a lot of people putting emphasis into your life. They ain't been through shit. They haven't been through nothing. These people ain't made a hard decision in their life. They haven't done nothing. And you got them telling you what they would do or what they should do and stuff like that. And people ain't been through nothing. And then you got people who have really refined their soul, people that's been good people throughout all these situations, the corny ones and the all right ones. And these people should be the ones you should take advice from when you're going through a rough time. And these are mostly the people that have the sure footing on these situations. They're not going to tell you something stupid to do, because that's another way you can be able to weed out the type of trash that you're going to be around, is that these people are going to ask you to do things. Come here, let's do this together. And they're more than likely trash. Because a person that's going to do evil, if it's worth it, especially a person that's really solid, he going to do it himself. This is not like, it ain't no rap. They not calling you to do something. This is not like, this is what I'm saying. Like, this is the type of behavior of trashy people, of people that don't have no real, and they're not even gangster for real. So this is not somebody, like, these type of catty, chabby type of people, or like, I don't even know what to call these type of people. Like, for real, just, I don't even, like, they not even in my world for real. Like, they so far removed from me, like, they not even worth even being brought up. Because this is the type of trash you want to be around. But your story is the one that's going to change them. And the sad part is, your struggle is going to be somebody else's glory. That is really you're paying the price for somebody else. Now, that's actually a good thing. That's what Jesus teaches us. That's actually a good thing. That's a good thing, because you really don't want some people to go through what you went through. Well, not some people, a lot of people. Some people, like, it's some things that you're going to experience that you don't want no one to experience, because you didn't even want to experience it, if you understand what I'm saying. These type of experiences are completely, devilish experiences. And you're almost pushed to the edges or limits of sanity, or you're pushed to the limits of pain, where you're willing to take your own life not to experience one more second of the pain anymore, of the anguish anymore. This right here is like, this is what pushes you or your soul for the refinement. And this is so bad. If you haven't reached a level of pain where you wouldn't put this on somebody else, or a level of discomfort where or I wouldn't even say discomfort, because this is beyond that. But you haven't reached that, then you don't know you haven't reached the rock bottom yet. That may also be another reason why you don't know who's waiting there for you. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what happens, or just give you an example of what happens when you reach this level of pain, or this threshold, and this rock bottom, or whatever the terminology is for this experience, because these words can't actually define the experience, or even the importance of this experience. And when Joseph, I use Joseph as the example, I'll use me. All right. So I have had rock bottom experiences where I was doing everything that I can in a situation to be such a better person, like in the relationship, right? So here I am, proving that I can be a husband, a good man, all this type of behavior, you know what I'm saying? Paying everything, being as kind. I never got into a fight for real, argument for real. Not saying that this did not happen. I'm talking about this was so infrequent, it was once a year type stuff. And this is just part of the type of person I am. I'm not arguing with nobody. This is just not me. It's very futile to do that. I'm going to state my point and we'll have a discussion about it. Once I feel like the emotions is too big, we'll revisit this at another time. This is really pretty much the only way a mature person can go about a debate. Because if you look at the way the world is now, you can't actually have a conversation with anybody uncomfortably. You can't have a real uncomfortable conversation with a person because most people can't sit there and take the heat. And if they can sit there and take the heat, most of the time they're not even listening to you anyway. They just waiting to throw something right at you, whether it's a cheap shot or whatever. So this is just the way most people are. But a mature person is going to understand the situation, that we have to get through this situation so we can have clarity. That's what communication is. Communication is an example to set for clarity so that we don't revisit this situation. But doing all that, and I'm not only being played and cheated on, but I'm actually being set up. All right, so I'm being set up by the cops, and this person is the one that's doing it. So this is the type of behavior and the type of backstabbingness that can happen in a relationship, and that's why I said the example of being able to put them in situations where you could trust them. And it wouldn't even be a situation this deep. It could be anything. Trust them with money, whatever, and you will see that this person will not. This person will show you. They're not to be trusted. And you will be in a situation where you're trying so hard because you know you're not perfect, right? And you could be very forgiving. You could be that type of person, like, in life, you should be forgiving. I mean, it just is what it is. Life is hard. Nobody has the playbook. Nobody in this world is perfect. I have to repeat that again so people can understand me, especially the people in the back. Nobody in this world is perfect. All right? I never assumed that the person I'm talking about was perfect. I never assumed that she would have been perfect. It's just not like that. The further up, especially the further pedestal you put a person, the even worse the betrayal most of the time. So it's not that you would do that, but you do get blinded by how much out of the way a person will do to try to hurt you. And this is the type of behavior these people will exhibit, that they'll do anything to prove that they don't deal with you. They'll show you in so many ways, and then they'll try to act like they were perfect. This is the type of behavior. They'll try to act like they did nothing, like, oh no, I never did nothing at all. And this is just how the behavior is. Joseph's brothers did that. Joseph's brothers went back and they were like, the father was like, what happened to Joseph? And they were like, oh, he got ate by wolves and we tried to save him. This is the type of behavior that these people will do. Oh, we tried to save him, and they will literally make you seem like you are the worst person in the world. That, like, and Zora Neale Hurston, I think I said that right, the name. She said that a person will harm you or give you pain, and later on they'll try to say, if you don't say your truth, they'll try to say that you wanted it or you liked it. Like, I would have loved to be set up. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the behavior of these type of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do have to say your truth. And that's the sad part about it, because I'm the type of person, I wouldn't even pay no attention to it. I could care less, for real. But you do have to say the truth. You have to say your truth, because these people will go behind your back and they'll have a whole smear campaign, and they'll do anything that they can to make themselves look so much good in the eyes of all these people. Whole time they playing them like a fool and making you look terrible. And if you're a type of person that's strong, that can stand by themselves like me, you gonna be like, man, I don't care what they saying, because you know the truth. You know what happened. But this type of behavior is how they get away with it. And that's why Zora Neale Hurston said that sometimes you have to say your truth, because they will kill you, and they'll say you wanted it. And I mean, this is what you deal with in your life. The chosen ones, the ones that are above a high morality, a high Islam, a high the believers, the mu'minun, they're successful because they're of high morality. They're successful because they don't exhibit this type of insanity behavior and stuff like that. And this is why I said I know God pays these people back, because all that person is going to do is do it to somebody else. And the thing is when I say pay people back, is the next person they do it to, and it may not even be the next person, it could be the person after even that. But what happens is they're going to get what they deserve when they do that. And this is for a person of high morality, what you deserve is it's going to show, because it's going to be exemplified in your character. It's going to be exemplified in the way your soul is refined. You see what I'm saying? When Joseph was able to go through that, he did get material wealth and stuff like that. At the end of his story, he was rich as I don't know what. And maybe you do get rich. Jesus, even if you believe in the Christianity story, after he was crucified, him and God became one at atonement. So, this is obviously better than just being a person sitting on a cross. You know what I'm saying? But what I mean by that is there's going to be a celebration period for going through all that pain, but you're going to sit there and experience it, and experience that level of betrayal. And if you are one of the people that's actually in the middle of it, because of course, like I said, when I was rock bottom, it was mind-boggling to me. I couldn't believe it. It was like, to me, it was just something I did not want to experience that. I did not want to go through that. I was like, oh my goodness, like, you know what I'm saying? And it's even worse now to know like the after effects of that type of behavior. You know what I'm saying? Because you would think that it wouldn't happen to you. You're like, oh, this ain't gonna happen to me. And then it does. And this is another reason why you shouldn't have pride. So it's so many different reasons. Like I said, when you read these stories, they'll give you all the whole playbook of how to be just such a better person. You know what I mean? Because it helps you eliminate these type of things. Because having pride is really a detriment to yourself. It really is a weakness. Because what happens is God humbles you. You won't have all this pride, and God knocks that right out of you. You know what I mean? And that's what happens. And then you'll watch people have prideful moments where they'll look and they'll try to troll, or they try to do all this weird stuff, and they're only trolling. Like gangsters don't troll. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is the type of behavior of people who ain't got no class, ain't got no toughness about themselves. This is pure a sucker behavior. That gangster ain't going to troll. I ain't got no time for stuff like that. So this is the type of behaviors that suckers exhibit. And when I mean suckers, I don't mean the person that won't do no violence and stuff like that. Because let me tell you something, yo. I've met, you want to know one of the toughest people I've ever met? One of the toughest people I ever met never did violence. They weren't like that. They were They were so hardworking, and they were so humble and just on a different level of toughness. This is what real toughness is. Toughness is being able to control your anger and control your vengefulness and control these type of characteristics, yo. That's real toughness. You know how hard that is? You know how hard it is to be able to seek revenge and not take it? Do you know how you understand? Like, especially if you got an opportunity to do it. I mean, this is most people is not doing that. Most people go ahead and be like, oh, I'm doing that. Let me get that. Got my lick back. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and you going about your business. But it's hard to not do that. This is when you know you tough. Toughness is that level of. That's what I'm saying. Like, you'll see people and you know, they'll get all the love in the world from people that won't do that. But the people that know real toughness is going to look at that and be like, all right, yeah, you did that, but you could have forgave, or you could have did this, or you could have did that, because that's real toughness. Now, yeah, you may not want to be the toughest person in the world. You may not want to be the best, have the best character in the world. You may not want to be the best morally upstanding in the world. And yes, that's why you need to not hang around these type of people. You see what I'm saying? Because these are the type of people that have had you and dragged you right into the hellfire. This is the type of people you want to stay as far away from as possible. And if they come near you, you need to be using that toughness to get them right out the way. Get out my way. Boop. Because that's that, you know what I mean? And I mean just that in the sense of like, they need to learn their lesson, but from God. Let them, I mean, you go ahead about your business, because this is the type of behavior that these people have. They exhibit. They always looking for trouble, and it says it in the Bible, even in the Quran, that this is the people with murder in their heart, vengefulness in their heart, jealousy in their heart, envy in their heart, all these type of evil in their heart, evil intent in their heart, and they the softest ones. They be the softest ones, yo, and I mean that. I'm not just saying that. I'm not just saying that behind no, you mean, John and all that. They know they soft. They know they soft, yo. Is nothing about that. And I'm telling you, man, I've been in very tough environments, and I've walked around those tough environments. I've stayed around those tough environments, and I'm going to tell you, the toughest people I've ever met in those tough environments is the ones that had the smile on their face in the tough environments. The ones that's not subjecting themselves to their environment. The ones that's not falling victim to their environment. The ones that's not falling victim to taking out their inside anger and anguish on other people that are weaker than them. Like, who does this type of behavior? So, you know, if people be like, well, I don't have no picks. I don't have no picks. I go after anybody. But you do, and you should have picks. You should really save the oppressed. You should not oppress anybody, and you should save the oppressed. But what do people do? They prey on people. We have a predator environment. They prey on people. But who they don't prey on, this is how you know who the person who has the respect. They don't prey on them people. But the thing is, even if they don't prey on them people, they ain't supposed to be. This is not the behavior of a person that's tough. So this will show you this will show you people got the world upside down. They have no idea. And this is what happens when you fall for anything. You have no idea what toughness is. You don't know what thorough is. You don't know what what toughness is. You don't know what sturdy is. You don't know what honorable is. You have no idea what these things are. Because you have exhibited none of them, and you've never been around any of them, and you don't know what this type of stuff is. Because if you did, you would know that that's not the behavior of a person that exhibits that. So that's not that. And a person is not refined like that their whole life. You have to go through stuff to get there. So all the people that's like, well, I remember you one day when you was like this. Yeah, dickhead. I was not that now. You're not the way you was back then. Nobody's the same all the time. It's just not that like that. You have to grow. You get more, you get polished. The work of art gets worked on, and then it becomes a masterpiece. It's not some stuff that you're just born and you're like, oh, I'm now the best person in the world. Nobody did that. Not even Jesus did that. Jesus had to get refined to become the king of the Jews, or whatever you wanted to say that he was called, because he never said that about himself. But he had to be refined to get to this level. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he had to be refined to get to this level. Khadijah even helped him. Jibril came down, washed him with the Zamzam water, washed his insides, cured him of all the diseases and all the impureness, and boom, he had prophethood right then and there. But before he had prophethood, he was already a good person, but he wasn't. He still made mistakes like anybody else. You have to you get to this level. You're not just popped out the womb and here you are perfect. Where does that happen? It does not. Nothing happens like that. The natural process has to come, and then you there. So that's another reason why you're supposed to have patience and be sabr and stuff like that. You're supposed to have patience with people, and the most sturdiest, the most strongest people is the ones who have the most patience. They of the sabrin, they have enough, they have all the patience. Why? Because they know better. They're looking right at it and they're like, look at this. And they'll know exactly what level you want. They'll know exactly what level of soul you want. And the ones that are really kind and good-hearted, they're not going to take advantage of what level you want. They're going to help pull you to their level so that you could be on their level or above. Why? That's why you should be around people of your soul caliber, because they're the ones that's going to help refine you. That's the ones you want to be around. It's like millionaires sitting with millionaires, or billionaires sitting with millionaires. They're going to pull you up. But a lot of people want to sit around these crummy people, ain't worth nothing, and you got all types of behaviors coming out. Like, I mean, this is the world we living in right now, yo. Just insane behaviors, and everybody's the toughest people in the world, and they the killers of killers, all killers and stuff. And these people, the tough people ain't even on that type of time. So, I mean, this is where you draw the line at this type of bull crap. And this is where you really see it. And just a tough person is not going to do what I went through, like what I had experienced with this person. This is not tough behavior. You already see what it is. Nobody's going to sit around and be like, oh, well, we're going to get him back and stuff like that. All right, and sit around me that whole time and play this whole role. All right, I must have been worth it. But and then now even worse. Have all the type of stupid stuff going. Like, this is the type of behavior of people, yo. I mean, and so you have to make sure that as you get better within yourself and you become a better person and more sturdy and strong and honorable, you just make sure that this type of stuff never creeps in your psyche or in your circle. You know what I'm saying? Even if you got to sit by yourself, which you're going to anyway, because the masters sit by themselves. It just is what it is. The masters are the ones that sit by themselves. They may have a few sahaba, a few friends, a few companions, but most of the time they by themselves. They superhero mode and by themselves. Even if they doing good deeds and all that, they be by themselves. So that's what betrayal can teach you. Betrayal is one of the most important soul refinement experiences that you want to have, and use it to your advantage, yo. Because that level of pain is going to help become a masterpiece for yourself. And if you ever want to experience real toughness or whatever they call these type of things, then you use that. So I'm gone.